Okay, so let's create this situation of two parallel lines cut by a transversal. So let's start with a line. I'll make it like this, sure. And now we're going to use the more tools to construct a parallel line. It says choose a line to set slope. So we're going to choose this line. And then if you drag down, you'll see I have this gray line. And I can put this point anywhere I want to. I'm going to put it right there. Now I am going to add a second point onto that line, sure. And now I'm going to make a transversal go right down through these two parallel lines. And I want to make it not, I want to make sure I see obtuse and acute angles. So there. Okay. And now I need to put a point at that intersection and that intersection. And now, if you set your points differently, it's okay, but you need to make sure that you have at least these points. A point on this side of the line, a point of this side, and the intersection. A point on this side of this line, and the intersection, and then a point at the top and bottom of your transversal. And again, notice what happens if I move, right? Those parallel lines move too. Okay. And now I want to measure all 8 of these angles. So watch. This is going to be the vertex, this point. Let's name it real fast. I'll call it A. That's going to be the vertex for all 4 of these angles. So when I find the measurement of those angles, that'll be the middle letter that I select each time. So let's click on the angle button. Okay, let's do this angle first. So I'll click on this point, then A, then this point. Notice that the arc of this angle goes from side to side, and the label of the angle is at A. I'll measure this angle now. This leg, this vertex, that leg. There. I'll measure this angle now. Here, vertex A, and then I'll click. You can click on this other intersection point or down here, just some point on that side. I'll do that. And then the last angle, I'll click here, and then point A, and then this point. And notice I have my 4 measurements. Oh, wow, would you notice that? Look, I have 2 obtuse angles, 125 and 125. Woo! I have 2 acute angles, 55, 55. Woo! And guess what they do when you add them together? 125 and 55 is 180. Woo! Now notice, I'm not using the other parallel line. So we have some relationships in this picture right now. So notice that when 2 lines intersect, you do have vertical angles, right? So like the 125 and 125 are vertical angles, okay? And you also have linear pairs. Any consecutive angle, or adjacent angle, 125 and 55, that's a linear pair. Remember that vertical angles are congruent, so they should be the same measurement. Again, that's the V and the V. And then your linear pairs add up to 180, and that's the acute obtuse idea. So that does not rely on parallel lines. That's just the transversal intersecting with the line at the top. Okay, let's continue on and measure the angles down here as well. So let's label this point B, sure. Okay, so again, B must be my middle letter. So click on the angle button. Let's measure this angle first. So here, B is my vertex, and then I'll click on A. Ooh, 125. I'll start with A, B is my vertex, this point over here. Ooh, 55. I'll start with this point here, B is my vertex, this one here. Ooh, 125. And then last angle here, B, and here. Ooh, and now notice this. You get 4 angles, 2 acute, 2 obtuse, but again, they're the same measurements as up there. Wait, this must be a fluke. Maybe it's just how I drew them. Let me drag my picture a little bit, right? Mr. Chapel, you must be lying to me. You mean when I drag it, the relationship stays the same? What if I do? You mean it stays the same, like they all change? And the answer is yes, right? That's what it means to construct parallel lines. And when parallel lines are cut by a transversal, you get these nice angle pair relationships, all right? So let's talk about what these angle pair relationships might be. Okay, so there's going to be 4 we're going to talk about. So first is same side interior angles. So if a transversal intersects parallel lines, then the same side interior angles are supplementary. So same side interior are supplementary. It's all this big SSS talk, right? So in this picture, when we talk about same side, we mean same side of the transversal. This is your transversal T. So you have this left side and you have this right side. So 4 and 5 are on the same side, and they're in the interior. Remember, this is the interior space. So 4 and 5 are on the same side of the transversal. In the interior, they're going to be supplementary. And again, notice A is acute and angle 4 is acute and angle 5 is obtuse. And when you add the acute and the obtuse, you get 180. Same thing here, angle 3 and angle 6, obtuse, acute, they add to 180. Alternate interior angles. So now if you have alternate interior angles and lines parallel, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. So now notice again, here's my transversal, left side, right side, but now we're on the alternate side. So alternate means one's on the left, one's on the right, but we're still in the interior. So it's still these same 4 angles. But now angle 4 and angle 6 will be congruent. And again, look, it's the acute and the acute. Angle 3 and angle 5 will be congruent. Look, it's the obtuse and the obtuse. It should make sense. So those are your interior angles. Okay, next are corresponding angles. Now, corresponding angles are a little special. So if lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent. Now, notice here, there's actually 4 pairs of corresponding angles. We use all 8 angles. So here's my transversal. This time, you have to use an angle from this intersection point and an angle from this intersection point. And it's the ones in the common spots, in the corresponding spots. So I say angle 1 is in the top left. So down here, what angle is in the top left? Angle 5. Over here, angle 2 is in the top right. What angle is in the top right down here? Angle 6. And so on. Angle 3 and angle 7, angle 4 and angle 8. All right? So again, these are corresponding angles. And then last but not least is alternate exterior angles. So if lines are parallel, alternate exterior angles are congruent. So again, here's my transversal. Alternate means one on the left, one on the right. But now we're in the exterior. We're here and here. Angle 1 is obtuse. It's going to be congruent to angle 7, the other obtuse. Angle 2 is acute. It'll be congruent to the other acute exterior angle, angle 8. All right, so next video we'll have some problems from Delta Math involving parallel lines. And again, I know for a fact that you've seen this before.